Can you hear us? A little bit? Addie, can they hear you?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear Addie? Oh, Bonnie, welcome, that introduction. I came here, was it 2-3 years ago, and came here with the intent of business. You're going to hear a little bit more about that later today. I get away with Dad had this morning. And little did I know that I would be sitting here in front of you with Addie. And so it is an honor to be here. We're extremely excited. If you caught that intro, she talked about slime. All right, we're going to make this work. She talked about slime. So for those of you that have elementary students, kids, or grandkids, do you know what slime is?
Oh, yeah.
All right, a few hands. For you people that do not know what slime is, Addie, can you share what slime is?
It's kind of like putty, but it's more stretchy, and you put glue, an activator, and you can add stuff in, like food coloring and glitter and other stuff to make it different types of slime.
So you put all this stuff together, you mix it in bowls, and then you make this stretchy stuff, and our kitchen turns into a disaster. What she didn't tell you is one of those activators is contact solution, and I wear contacts. And so needless to say, I never have contact solution. This guy right here is laughing. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. So if you need some slime instructions, grab Addie after her message this morning, because she will teach you all about slime. And the reason we point that out is, guys, she's a 4th grader. Think about that for a second. Would you have sat up here in front of you as a 10-year-old? She's a 4th grader. She still likes to jump on the trampoline. She still plays with her friends. But we're here today to tell you an incredible story. And we're going to tell you a story about finding your purpose and pursuing that purpose. See, 3 years ago when Addie was 7, she found her purpose. And she's been changing the world ever since. And we're sharing that story with you today. So Addie, I know it's hard for you to see, but if you want to look back there, and my clicker's not working, of course. I'll move it over here. Switch it out real quick. There we go. There we go. There's the clicker. Addie, can you share what that picture is? I'll share first. It's kind of hard to see. That's a picture of our family in Kenya, Africa, just a few weeks ago. Bonnie introduced us. My wife is right back here. You can wave Shayla to everyone. There's my wife, Shayla. And our son, Kason. There he is right there. That's the 4 of us in that picture. It's kind of hard to tell, but that's us in Africa.
It might be hard to tell what's in the back of that photo, but Dad, can you click on the next one so we can see?
I would try to click on that. All right, we're going to make this work. Do not hit the computer. There we go.
That's a lion right behind us, and the wild, the no fences, and that's me staring at it.
Yeah. Say that again, Addie, because I couldn't click quick. What is that you're staring at?
A lion.
In a zoo?
In the wild.
In the wild.
With no fences.
With no fences. All right, Addie.
And I was just enjoying myself when I was on safari, and I was just enjoying myself in the African breeze.
African breeze.
And then my dad thought for some reason my dad thought it would be a great idea to get some footage of me running in the middle of the national park. And so I did, and you gotta remember, the real lions, the real sharp teeth was right around the corner.
We didn't have her on the road too long. It was pretty quick footage of her running. Why were we in Africa, Addie?
Because the Steve Harvey Show gifted us the trip to go to Kenya to see my best friend Maureen.
You were on the Steve Harvey Show?
Yes.
That's you?
Yes.
Right there?
I was on the Steve Harvey Show sharing my story and sharing why my heart is with the kids in Africa and sharing about my friendship with Maureen.
So I have to ask you in front of all of our new friends this morning, what's more exciting, to sit in that white chair with Steve Harvey or your dad?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You guys heard it. You heard it here. Addie has an incredible story, and we were on the Steve Harvey Show. Let's go back to the beginning. You talked about your friendship with Maureen. This is a picture of you and Maureen. You were 7 years old, and Maureen's 9 at the time. So let's go back to the beginning about your friendship with Maureen.
Yeah, in 2016, my mom ran the Kansas City Half Marathon, and Michael Chitwood, who is the founder of Team World Vision, was there with his sponsor child, Maureen, and he was sharing how kids have to go walk to get dirty water, and how kids are dying because they don't have clean water. And so, what is a really unique thing about Maureen and I's friendship is that Maureen lives in Kenya, Africa, and so that's why we went to Kenya. And so that night, I made the decision to help the kids in Africa, so I said yes.
See, this is a picture of Addie saying yes. It's hard to tell in that picture. She's signing a card that says, I'm saying yes to next year. What were you saying yes to?
You might be confused about what I said yes to, but I said yes to running the Kansas City Half Marathon that next year and fundraising for the kids in Africa. And you got to remember, I was only 7 when I did this, and I was chasing on a big dream of running 13.1 miles.
13.1 miles, a half marathon. She made the decision to say yes as a 7-year-old. 13.1 miles is a long ways. And she said yes. Now her little brother was not quite as excited. He's right there. That's him sleeping. See his pants and his hands under the table? He was 4, so we can't give him a break. But he also ordered the children's salad, croutons. Right there. So she said yes, and she hasn't looked back. In 2017, she ran her first half marathon. There's some footage, there's a picture of her running. And here's a picture of us at the finish line after we ran the 13.1 miles. And then, Addie, what happened after the race finished?
I said yes again to running the Kansas City Half Marathon in 2018, and I raised $20,600.
$20,600. In 2017, you
2017.
raised $27,000.
And then 2018, I raised $40,000.
And that's her this past October running the Kansas City Half Marathon. She's leading the crew. There's my wife, Shayla, and then I'm in the back trying to keep up with Addie. And then here's the 3 of us at the finish line with our medals. And Addie, at the conclusion of the race in 2018, what happened?
I said yes again in 2019, and I've already raised over $21,000 this year.
Let's say that again, yeah. We can definitely clap for that. I want to brag on Addie for just a moment, because as you can tell, she's extremely humble for what she's doing. But in the past 2.5 years, she's raised over $80,000. For those of you that fundraise, you know what that takes. $80,000 in 2.5 years. And in the process, has run 2 half marathons in 2017, 2018, as an 8-year-old, as a 9-year-old. And World Vision has quantified that $50 provides clean water for one child for their entire life. So to do the math, that's 1,600 kids have been impacted by Addie saying yes. She's become the youngest legacy fundraiser in World Vision history, which is, it symbolizes raising $10,000 in a year, in a calendar year. She's also the youngest legacy or legend fundraiser, which is $50,000 in her lifetime. And she's closing in on becoming the youngest person to ever raise $100,000 with World Vision. So we're extremely proud of what she has accomplished. But see, we wouldn't be sitting here this morning unless Michael said yes. She mentioned earlier that Michael Chitwood was the reason why she met Maureen in 2016 when he brought Maureen from Kenya to Kansas City to share her story. Well, this is a picture of Michael and Maureen when she was about 3 years old. See, the reality in Maureen's village of Bartabla, before Michael began sponsoring Maureen, was the mortality rate was 50% for children before the age of 5. 50% of children before the age of 5 would pass away because of the lack of clean water. Something as simple as this. Look at your table and how many cups, glasses of clean water are on the table. Something as simple as clean water, kids are dying before the age of 5. But because of Michael and other people like Michael who said yes and began sponsoring children in Maureen's village, Maureen has life. She's been able to pursue her dreams because Michael said yes.
And if you look closely in this photo, Maureen has so much joy and she has so much life and she's so healthy because she has clean water at her house. And this is a photo of us doing a water walk she used to have to do to get dirty water. But she's so happy, and I was so happy in that photo because I knew that she has clean water now.
And Addie, I want to talk a little bit about that water walk, because when you look at that picture, it almost looks like they're in front of a green screen. This is in the Great Rift Valley in Kenya, Africa, just a few weeks ago. And we did this water walk, and Addie, what was this water walk like? When you say water walk, I don't think people understand exactly the terrain that you walked.
So we walked up this hill, and then we got to the water point, and there's barely any water coming out of it. And then you had to walk a long ways to get there, and then you have to fill up your jerry can and then walk back. And knowing Maureen used to have to do that when she was my age, broke my heart knowing that she used to have to do that. But makes me so happy knowing that she has clean water now.
And what does clean water mean to Maureen, having it right outside her home?
It means that she can sleep in, and she can get to school on time, and she can have more time with her family instead of going to go walk for the water. And it just changes Maureen's life because of clean water.
Clean water simply changed her life, because she's no longer waking up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning to go walk for dirty water. She can sleep in, they can take a bath, and they can get to school and study. Water changes everything. Clean water provides life. See, shortly after meeting Maureen, she inspired us to say yes as a family. We began sponsoring 2 children in Maureen's village. This is a picture of one of our sponsored children. This is Lucy. And friends, she is a princess warrior. We walked into her homestead, and she had that headdress on, and she was so excited to see us. They gifted us bracelets that you can see all of our family were wearing. To see her joy in her face was something that I'll never forget. And because we said yes, we were able to meet her family. We were able to see the health that they have, because she too has clean water, just like Maureen.
And the cool thing about sponsorship is when you sponsor one child, 4 more benefit. So if you really add that all up, it's 5 kids that benefit from that one sponsored child. And sponsorship provides clean water, food, health care, education, and church. And it provides so much more than just clean water. And it's just life-changing knowing that you can sponsor one child for only $39 a month. And I know everybody in this room could sponsor a child, and they will never miss that $39 a month.
1 + 4 = 5, which is such a powerful equation. And we saw firsthand the impact of child sponsorship with our family and the communities that they're part of. Michael said yes, and because Michael said yes, Addison was able to say yes.
So what's your yes?
Ask him again, Addie.
So what's your yes?
Each of us in this room have a yes, right? Think about that for a moment. Each one of us have a yes. Some of us have already said yes, just like Addison has. Others of us have ignored the yes for years. But what keeps you up at night? What causes you to pound the table? What increases your heart rate? What brings you joy when you do it and brings discontent when you don't do it? That's your yes. Each one of us have a yes in our own personal life and within our own families. And once you say yes, don't look back. Because see, if we would have looked back once Addie said yes as a 7-year-old, we would have missed the moment, wouldn't we? If we would have looked back and said, I don't know if she can do this, I don't know if she can run a half marathon, I don't know if her dreams are too big. But we didn't look back. Once she said yes, we looked forward, and we pressed forward towards her goal. And guys, hard change takes hard work, doesn't it? We've all been part of change. Change is not easy. And so we have to take the stairs, skip the elevator, and put in the work if we want the world to change. And once you say yes and you don't look back, believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. And surround yourself with people that believe in you. Because it would be really easy for us as Addie's parents to say, you know what, Addie, you're too small. You're too young. You're too little to chase these big dreams, but we didn't. And so in our own story, we have naysayers. We've got that voice in our head that has been talking to us for years of, you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're too far along in your career to make a difference. Don't listen to those voices. Maybe it's a former teacher or a former coach, or in some of our stories, it's a family member that never encouraged us. Don't listen to the voices, because you can say yes. And once you say yes, don't look back.
And I've realized that you guys, you can dream big, and you don't need to let anybody stop you. And just go for your dreams, and don't let anybody stop you, because all of you have a yes, and all of you can go for your dreams.
Guys, this is a 10-year-old. 10-year-old. If a 10-year-old can follow her dreams, can each of us follow our dreams? But what happens is life gets in the way, work gets in the way, and that project we've wanted to start in the credit union for so long, it doesn't happen because we just don't have the time. That community project that we want to serve at, I would love to do that, but we don't have the time. That nonprofit that you want to launch, that's your yes. Listen to what Addie's saying. Say it again. Dream big and what?
Dream big, and don't let anybody stop you.
Dream big and don't let anybody stop you.
This is what keeps me going, and this is what keeps me up at night, because this is my friend Anita. And we did a water walk that she still has to do to get dirty water. And it surprised me when we found out that she has to do this 3 times a day, down this very steep cliff. And then we got to the water hole, and there was bugs in the water, and leaves, and frogs. And I wouldn't have put my hand in the water if the camera wasn't there. And it breaks my heart knowing that my friend has to do that 3 times a day. And it makes me want to keep going even more for Anita, because Maureen has clean water, and now I want Anita to have clean water.
This is personal for Addie. This isn't just something that's happening over there. When she says this is my friend Anita, this is her friend Anita. They did the water walk together. This is some of the most beautiful terrain I've ever seen in my life. We were down in this valley. It's hard to tell by this picture, but the cliffs were high, and the riverbed had dried up, and there was this hole that we had to walk to get to the water. And the locals told us, once this water hole dries up, they've got to climb another little rocky cliff to get to another water hole before it dries up. And they do this 3 times a day. So that means today she's doing the water walk, and tomorrow she's going to do the water walk, and the next day she's going to do the water walk. And when I say, what is your yes, and what keeps you up at night? Addison will come down at 10:30 at night after we put her to bed 2.5 hours earlier, and tears will be streaming down her face. Honey, what's wrong? I can't stop thinking about the kids in Africa. It's personal for her. It's personal.
And what I've realized with my friendship with Maureen, and since I've said yes, that love can change the world. Your love can change the world. Your yes can change the world. And your dreams can change the world. And your yes can make a difference. So go for it, and don't let anybody stop you.
People ask us all the time, how can we make a difference? How can you make a difference? There's practical ways to help. We talked about the power of child sponsorship, and we've got some packets here today. These kids are in Maureen's Village.
And we have 9 of them from Maureen's Village that needs to be sponsored. And we found out when we were in Bartagua, the village that Maureen lives in, we found out that there's still 1,007 kids that needs to be sponsored from her village. And I believe that we can get these 9 sponsored today.
Another practical way that you can help is donate for clean water. We talked earlier that $50 provides clean water for one child for their entire life. Addie, what do we spend $50 on?
Eating Chick-fil-A.
You guys have Chick-fil-A's? Mm-hmm. Probably not as much. We have one every corner in the Midwest. But think about that, $50. And we filled up the van with gas a few weeks ago, and Addie said, Dad, it costs $54 to fill the van up? I said, yeah, honey, it's expensive. She goes, well, we could have saved it out of the kid. And I said, yeah, we would have had to walk. But she's putting value to the dollar. $50 provides clean water for one person for their entire life. And the sponsorship is $39 a month. Guys, we walk in to Target and spend $39 before we even blink. And the third way is share Addie and Maureen's story. Share their story. There's cards on your table that look like this. That's her links that are right here on the screen. You can take a picture of this if you want as well, or grab this card. But share your story, share her story with your friends, with your family, with your coworkers, on social media. We talked about on the Steve Harvey Show, if you go to the second link, the participant / Addyson Moffitt, that's her fundraising page. The footage from the Steve Harvey Show is on that link, so be sure to go there and check it out. And then a little news that we can tell you, but we can't tell the world quite yet, is what's going to happen next week.
I was back in the Steve Harvey Show in a submarine a few weeks ago, like a week ago actually.
Yeah, a week ago, we were back in LA.
And we filmed another Steve Harvey Show, and it's gonna air May 1st.
May 1st, so set your DVR. And so when you share that, you can tell everyone, you're friends with Addie. You know Addie. You know a celebrity. Yesterday on social media, I posted that I was flying with a World Vision celebrity, I'm sitting next to a World Vision celebrity. But those are some practical ways that you guys can join the story and can help the story and can end this clean water crisis.
And this is me in Kenya, Africa, looking over the Great Rift Valley. And I was looking at all the work that still needs to be done. And I want to leave you with this. If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together.
Thank you.